Let's go! Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get a topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. Alrighty, what is going on, everybody out there? It's your boy Tig of Project Open Mic, ready for another episode. Hope y'all doing well. Let me put my, that beautiful mug on screen. Hey, how you doing? Hope that you're having a good week and everything is going well for you. Have another great show for you tonight. Thank y'all, Temper FM, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well watching this. Last week's show had a little technical glitch with the YouTube side, but it's up on the channel. So again, remember you can check it down there. It's scrolling across the screen. If you want to get any of the backlog stuff, Project Open Mic. Of course, Twitch, not Twitch. What's I gonna say? Not Twitch. It is Temper FM. They have it for for about a month and then it goes off, so you can check it out. Thank you guys for all the comments and stuff for my Temple people for keeping it straight. That show was crazy, but I just wanted to talk about stuff on there so people understand where I'm coming from, and I still stand by my stand. Yes, because there's some people asking, hey, do you don't you give stuff because the last show was talking about cops. If you say people you listen to YouTube or Facebook. Last thing was about cops, and we're talking about how the situation with Bryant and all the other people. Of course, the George Floyd thing happened, and my stand still stays, and all will stay. Certain things happen, and it's sad. I am not denying that at all. But my thing is this: I ain't going to deify, emphasize, or make somebody famous because they were bad people. Because of the situation. Majority of the times, most people get that we see these videos that comes out, sadly, is they not only were they criminals, and that's not the point. If they were criminals, if they were bad and they did something, and the cops did something unjustified, again, I have no problem against that. We hold the cops accountable, but follow the rules, don't disobey, don't do crazy stuff, and your chances of not getting shot or killed will be dramatically dropped. But again, I did a video, this is the last video showed about with Dante Wright and all this stuff, so yeah, we see how that all works out. So I'm not deifying, I'm not gonna make anybody a immortal for nothing. And again, Nancy Pelosi was correct. George Floyd died so she could gain more power. That's just basically what it was. Talking about for justice. No, you wanted power, you old hag. But anyway, point taken. I do want to say, I want to go give my prayers and condolences for people who did lose their life. For the island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean, they're going through some rough times with a volcano erupting, and now they got a lot of flood because of the ashes stuff. A lot of people's losing their houses. It's tough. I hope you guys can hang in there. Hope you guys do what you can to to make sure everything is good. I feel for you. My heart goes out to you guys, and of course, see how things is like I did with the thing. I will be trying to do another fundraiser to help people down in St. Vincent. I'll let you know about the details and everything about that, so you guys can help out like you did when you helped me out in 2017 with hurricanes. So hopefully I'll be setting that up so that's for so we could help the people down in the islands because that is rough. And the thing about it is like this is April going into May. You have volcano, you have floods, and then right around the corner will be hurricane season. So man, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really, really tough. Hoping for people to help out. So again, shout out for the island for the roughness they gotta go through. Now, tonight's show is basically the party of the rich. Now, I'll explain it out. But once again, I've been proven right. Can any politician prove me wrong on what I'm saying so it could just be what it is? I don't want to be right most of the time because it's just, but like I said, I recognize patterns. I see what these politicians do, reprehensible most of the time. And again, it's just weird. So, of course, let's start off with this. Biden had his speech. It's all cool. Thanks for Triple M for listening to some of the stuff that is. I did not watch it. I didn't watch Trump, so when anything, I only went back to watch President Trump's speeches because I know the media was lying, and when I went back to see what happened, I see clips on this one because the media love Biden, so I know they ain't gonna twist it to make it. I was gonna twist it to make it be good, while to make Orange Man bad. So I'm not gonna play this game with people, just ain't. So I see that he wants another $1.8 trillion. We already done spent $5 trillion in the first 2 months. Now he wants another $1.8 trillion. I already done seen it in my grocery store. Like 36 eggs, I say dozen. 36 eggs, right? Was $3 and some $3 and change. Like I think it was $3.40 back in January. Not up to $5. Wood has skyrocketed. Price of wood has gone up. Materials for building has gone up. I know that because of my job. Has gone up. Gas has gone up. Oil has gone up. We have right now. We have a lithium battery shortage because it can't keep with the production. And if we do the production, it still is not infinitesimal energy source compared to oil. Biden said, "Oh, we're gonna go." He said, "We're gonna be carbon neutral before blah blah blah." I always said that was a lie. You're not gonna by it was 2035, and we're not gonna use fossil fuels. That's a lie. I don't care what anybody say. That's a lie. Again, I'm pointing out multiple times. The microphone, the computers, all this stuff comes. All this comes from oil. So let's not pretend that. So stupid to say that. Now he backed it down to say half. We're gonna be half with our carbon footprint by 2035. Oh, you already are moving the goalposts already, sir. I'm not surprised by that. And then he said, "No, look at it. I am not a smoker. Right? Not a smoker. Don't want to smoke at all. But two things came out of this, which kind of irks me. Now he wants to ban menthol cigarettes. I'm not a smoker. They don't affect me. But I don't like to see that you have the power to ban something like that if people don't have the choice. Oh, is it healthier? Then ban cigarettes all outright. Ban cigarettes, ban weed, ban all the drugs. Because you can't ask for all the drugs and then ban cigarettes. You can't ask, oh, let's get weed, but then you ban menthol, whatever. Let the person make their choices and leave them the hell alone. And of course, they're banning it because what? of the Fabergé egg of America, black people. Oh yeah, the pets we are. That they're like, oh, we're doing it for your sake. You should not be smoking this, so you could whatever. So we're gonna get rid of the Black and Miles. We're gonna get the Newport menthol. We're gonna get all that stuff. Yeah, that is not the role of the government. It's just not. But for some reason, they want to make it. That's what they want to do. I don't like it. I don't. Cause I'll give you an example. A better example. Canada. Canada right now has y'all talk about cops and stuff. Go to Canada now. Canada now says the cops have full right to pull you over for any reason, not for probable cause or nothing, for any reason now. You know what? Let me see if I can find that story, because that it myself with other stuff I need to do. So I can pull you over for any reason now. So how would this go? How would this go? I thought, you think, those the people up there, the people who are the more, we don't do this stuff, and we, black, they hit you with the racist stuff all the time, the cops and everything. But look at it now. Look what's going on now. Let me see if I can find a story quickly and play it for you. Because to me, it's too funny. See if we could, because right now, people are we're getting a little crazy with this stuff. We are, and we're pushing this insaneness with how things supposed to be. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Here, give me a second. I want to just cue it up for a second there. Okay. And don't think they won't try to do certain stuff into America. Cause they will. They'll try their best to do it. Even though it is, but I'm just like I said, play this for you so you guys can see. Give me a second here. Let me go switch to I'll let my boy Scotty here tell you all about it.
Have gone insane. Ontario, it's official. The Canadians have gone insane. Ontario is now giving the police the right to stop any vehicle and ask people what they're doing, where they're going. Is it essential traffic? I can't believe it. It's like the Canadians had turned into Nazi Germany, only it would go like this. The police stops you and says, "What is the purpose of your journey?"
And where is your papers?
Only they do the whole thing in a Canadian accent. Well, it's a good thing they don't allow Americans to go there, because Americans wouldn't stand for that kind of stuff, and then all the tourists would go back to the United States and spend their money there instead. I knew something was wrong in Canada for sure, because for over a year, they haven't even allowed people to go to the hockey games, the National Hockey League. Even the United States, they're going to the game to some extent. There, they still don't allow people to go to the games. I think they've lost their marbles north of the border, but stopping people's cars anytime they want? I mean, talk about the loss of rights. Like, who are they going to pull over? They're going to pull over the gangbanger-looking guys, but not the old people? I mean, come on now, Canadians. You need to get your act together here. This was sent to me, this information, by one of my Canadian fans. He didn't even believe what's happening in his own country now. But they're stopping cars and asking you where you're going, what the purpose of your visit is. Hey, you're in your own car. You're not spreading any coronavirus. You're in your own car driving around. I mean, well, you never see it happen here in the United States. Josh.
That's how far. And also, that's why a lot of people, that's why I say I'm a libertarian. That's why you see how many people, so easy that we give up their rights. So they're going the opposite way. So you bring that laws over here with all the things that people talk about with the cops and say, oh, cops are bad and blah, 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 and all this nonsense. Oh, really? Well, Canada and Justin Trudeau, the guy who's like, blackface is bad, he wore blackface. He said cultural appropriation, and when he went trip to India, what did he did? Culture appropriate. telling you, these people don't care what they say. They say for you. They say for you peons. They don't say rules for thee, not for me. That's what they do. So now you can stop and pull over anybody for any reason. Oh, goody. Looking for Canada. Canada is a more simpler way of certain things, but we'll see what happens. Let's keep an eye on this and see what happens in the future, right? All right. So let's now go to another what do you call it? Give me a second here. So let's go to another situation. Like I said, what was talking about that. So Biden, like, another thing that's funny. Biden said, "Oh, we're gonna cut the prices on drugs and stuff like that." Uh, uh, Mr. President, I got a question for you. Wasn't you the one who rescinded the former president's bill to stop insulin to go high, and then when you did that, insulin prices skyrocketed? Oh wait, now you want to cut it back down? So what is this? So you took his idea, like you did with the whole thing about we Trump didn't have no plans for the vaccines. Yes, he did. Again, you took your vaccine, and Kamala Harris took her vaccine when President Trump was the president. So he had plans, and people. So was the former President Obama and Clinton and Bush. So why you lying? I don't get it. But people are stupid. They follow major news. Now that the attack dogs are gone. Now the dogs are back. The attack dogs are gone now. Now that the dogs are like little chihuahuas. I ain't gonna say chihuahuas. That's wrong. Cause some of them little chihuahuas will be just damn vicious. A Saint Bernard, a dog that's very docile. That's what it is. And the media is just basically, like, oh, good Biden, good Kamala. Oh, just rubbing it. Now they don't want to point out all the negative stuff that happened. Trust me, there's a part I want to do with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher says some stuff. I'm like, are you out your flipping mind, Bill Maher? You talking about what you're saying, but I'll do that as a straight no chasers video. So keep an eye out for that. So with that now, it's did he make any big gaffes? No, but what the stuff he says, what as usual, can happen, and it just makes no sense. It just doesn't. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. Just it doesn't make no sense. But we move on. Let's talk about. But I do want to talk about this little article here. Give me a second, because I remember I told you. Let me set this up before I show you the article. You go back. Like I said, you have to go back to some videos. I forgot the name of the number. I played a video and talk about how Biden's tax plans gonna hurt the middle class, and I've been correct. People will say, "Oh, he's taxing the rich." You don't know how taxes work. You really don't know how taxes work. Okay, stop it. I showed you and gave you examples of how the rich gotta pay the fair share. You think they've paid a fair share? You really do? And also, majority of Congress is rich. You think they're gonna pass a bill to tax themselves? That's what I was kidding with people like, oh, they're gonna do. I'm like, are you nuts? You gotta be nuts, right? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm gonna pass a bill to tax myself. I don't think so. I won't do that. And I'm more fair and straightforward than your man, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine, like all that. I am more better than those people. I have better morals than all those people in a hat wrapped in a bag. They don't care. They're not gonna pass taxes themselves. But young kids still fall for it. Oh, we're gonna tax the rich, we're gonna eat the rich, we're gonna do all this stuff. Again, y'all say you don't want big corporations, but last year you made big corporations more money than they ever made ever. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon, all those companies got trillions of dollars. because of young people becoming useful idiots. I'm sorry, I just gotta call it as it is. But let me get a dose of reality now, as you guys, just to let you know, because y'all say, oh, for rich people, whatever. And this is from MSNBC. Not no Fox News, not no you call it, not no Fox News, not no New York Post, not no Washington Examiner. This is that. All right. Let me bring it up on the screen here. Democrats are the party of the wealthy. IRS data shows. Really? Democrats are the. No, I'm shocked. It can't be. No, the Democrats can't be this. Democrats are the party of wealthy. A flip from decades ago when it was the party of the poor and middle class. They were never that either, too. Don't see, they already don't start lying that crap. I'm swear. Yeah, stop. Just stop lying. Those were rich people back then, too. Jeez. How the heck, again, how the heck Maxine Waters living in her $6 million house? And she makes $175,000. Well, it get increased more and more, but it was right now they make $175,000. Yeah. I don't trust that. I don't like that. But that's the party. But let's talk about the people too. Democrats represent 65% of taxpayers with the household income of $500,000 or more in the 2002, according to IRS data, while 74% of tax payers in the Republican districts have household incomes less than $100,000. Yeah, because these bastards live in cities and they want to control everything. In 1993, a dynamic was revised, with the typical Republican Congress district showing it was 40% wealthier than the Democratic counterpart. In 2020, data was showing that Republican districts are now 13% poor. The data comes as some Democrats push to end former President Donald Trump's 2017 tax law that caps the federal deduction of a state to local taxes to $10,000. That beneficiary would predominantly be 1% of the United States' wealthiest households or property owners in high tax states. That also worked that if you do that, that's also made people who are regular in New York. And you know what? I swear people don't know how these taxes don't work. Democrats who won previously Republican districts campaign to restoring deduction, especially in states such as New York and New Jersey. There were a handful of red districts that were flipped in blue in 2018. I am not voting for any change in a tax code whatsoever unless there were restitution of the SALT deduction. Oh, good grief. I'm laying that, well, I could be wrong how I say it, so I'm not going to say it. It's red. I'm laying that S or S on the table. Democrat Pro Tom. Oh, I know this piece of crap. He's also a freaking.
You piece of loser.
He is one of those people. That is for sure. Some lawmakers are even threatening to derail President Joe Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure package. Like I said, we already done spent $5 trillion. Now you want $1.8 trillion more. Wow, we went from $22 trillion to $30 trillion in a year. In a year. Jeez. If it does not include reversing Trump's cap on tax deductions, with a group of lawmakers sending a letter to the Treasury, Janet Yellen, which we already know she's corrupt because she took $800,000 from the company that tried to do the shorts, the GameStop short from the hedge funds. Oh yeah, she's first woman secretary. Ah yeah, and she corrupted as any other man. Great, whoopee. Thank you for your corruption. Only this month. House Democrats sent letter to Senate that the could not vote for infrastructure bill to restore the SALT, which would be bad for again, like I said, it would be bad for a lot of these southern states, but people don't know how taxes work. We're going to keep fighting until this is part of the bill. It's crucial as a road to a bridge or a tunnel, which is why we are going to keep fighting until the end. New York District Attorney Josh Gottheimer. That part I leave that alone. Yeah, they're making all the money. Again, and remember, when they do all this stuff, what do? They create loopholes. That's why a lot of people forget. But again, reading that article with Trump in the New York Times, they're like, oh, he only paid $750,000 tax. No, he paid $7.7 million, but nobody wants to read the article to the end, like I've said multiple times. Also, it's loopholes. All the loopholes are there. So what Jersey and New York is doing is trying to open up more loopholes. But then y'all like, oh, we got to put Trump in jail because he didn't pay his taxes, which he did. But I see the thing, this is what people need to understand. I was talking about that. Is the District of New York is trying to get him for his money and everything else. The IRS ain't going after him. You think if he didn't spend all his money, you think the IRS wouldn't go after his butt? Hell, I could ask you right now. I just got back a little bit. I just got $100 back from North Carolina, which we're going to be talking about this in a little bit, from North Carolina. I've been paying I have never had a refund from North Carolina for many years now. This is the first time. You know, they came and asked, hey, oh, well, you know, we give you back money, you know, $100. Come on now. I mean, you send more information in. Oh, but when I was paying, you didn't want me to send the money. But now that you give money back, you want more information. It's not even like it's like $500 or something like that. It's like $116. That's what it is. And they hammer me on that. This is ridiculous. That's the kind of craziness I'm talking about. This is like what? But nope. But again, that's what y'all ask for. Y'all think, oh, this is not how it works at all. It just does not work that way. Y'all think so? You're gonna create more loopholes. So it goes to what my saying is: the rich is gonna get rich, the poor gonna keep fighting for their crumbs, and the middle class, where I am, and most of y'all who listen to me, gonna get effed over. That's how it's gonna work. Always have been like, and it's gone crazier now. 2 months this man has been in office, and he has not proven me wrong once yet. Not yet. Kamala Harris supposed he put Kamala Harris in charge of the what do you call it? Of the border. You know, she has gone all over the place to do all kind of stuff. She even got her book that she's gonna give to the kids who came through you know, for the immigration down there. But has she gone out to the border? Nope. Not once. Not once. Think, are you surprised? No, I'm not. Speaking of Kamala Harris, as a fellow YouTuber Jericho Green says, the politician that went horizontal to go vertical. If you guys remember that I played a very reason. People ask me the reason why I did not vote for Kamala. Well, I didn't vote for Joe Biden because he said if I am black, if I vote for him, I am black. Well, again, I'm looking at me right now. I'm a white guy in blackface. And I couldn't vote for Kamala Harris because she was the DEA in San Francisco. One of my dear friends lost, and I played a clip for you guys, lost her husband, and lost her 2 oldest kids. And because she kept leaving them back out, laying the guy back out. The guy created multiple felonies. He's an illegal, multiple felonies. They let him back out multiple times. until they kill my friend's family. And it's like, wow. Then we keep you in investigation for the rest of life. And that's what I'm at right now. I ain't no deporting. You do crime, you stick your butt, you basically you're one by being illegal. Two, if you're doing a crime or hurt anybody like that, you stick your butt in jail for the rest of your life. Why we send you back? For you to come back over and kill more people? No. Oh, rape anybody, whatever. Y'all hated the president, the former president said, he said rape or whatever. I have a friend who got raped by illegal immigrant. My cousin got killed by illegal immigrant, and her family, losing 2 kids and her husband, got killed by illegal immigrant. Not all of them are bad and all of them are good. It's the same thing with the cops. Evil's evil. I always say that, but let's call it individual, but let's do certain things the right way. Let's have simple sense. I can't say common sense because common sense means it's common, and we don't have that set situation. So, But let's go. I want to show you this. Here's the same. Somebody took over her spot, right? DA. I want you to see it on the screen. I'm not gonna play the video, but I'll see it on the screen. In San Francisco, district attorney. She's the district attorney there. She's following Kamala Harris's footsteps right along the way, ain't she? See on the screen. Baby boy is murdered after ultra woke San Francisco district Chesa Bolden let his killer go free twice after domestic violence allegation. San Francisco district attorney has been blasted by domestic violence advocates for failing to prosecute Joseph Williams after 2 of his previous arrests. Williams, 26, was let go twice after being arrested on suspicion of assaulting his partner in 2021. Bolden's outfit said that the partner had refused to press charges against Williams. I'll say this, ma'am, you're part of the problem. If he's doing something bad, and he literally is doing something bad, you do it. Oh, you were scared. Scared what? Look what happened. Scared. That's why I say always tell the police and charge if you're going to charge. If you have the evidence to do it, charge. If you don't do no false pretense now. Don't get me wrong, because I have people who do for false cases. But if you have it, put it in there. He's now been charged with the murder of a 7-month-old baby boy, Sincere Williams. What do y'all use the names? California governor candidate and TV star Caitlyn Jenner condemned the prosecutor over the incident on Twitter. Katie Black, executive director of La Casa de la Madres and a shelter for domestic violence victims, said that DA Bolden had abandoned his duty. Bolden was committed in January after freeing an unarmed robber who is alleged to have caused a double hit and run shortly afterwards. The city caps arrest 131 people on felony domestic violence in the final 3 months of 2020, but Bolden officers dismissed 113 of them and charged just only 13 of them. Well, we already gonna see how this person's. We already gonna see this person's gonna do a great bang up job in San Francisco. Great job, guys. Putting a district attorney that's just as stupid as most people in San Francisco. Sorry, because again, y'all literally have people crapping on the roads. You have an app. If you all just stop being stupid leftists and let's just be liberal. Just be a liberal and stop letting these people do stupid stuff and wasting your money. You got LA saying, "Oh, we're gonna take $1 billion to stop the homeless shelter, the homeless crisis."
What the fuck?
No, you ain't. No, you're not. And the apartments you're trying to put them in, each unit is $1 million. Oh, goody. So people who work hard, whatever, who can do nothing, they got to spend $200,000, $300,000 a month to get crappy apartments, but you're giving a person who's a junkie, who's caused violence in some cases, you're gonna give them a $1 million apartment. Oh, I hate government. I really hate government. Oh my goodness. Does any of that make sense? None of that stuff makes sense. But I can't be surprised. I just can't. If I would be, it would be no. I just can't be surprised. But point taken. Now you see what I'm talking about. That's what it is. Y'all gotta be careful who you're electing. You really are. Stop electing people because the R's and D's. Jeez, elect them because of what they stand for, what it is. That's how it is. But this is why we don't want a pure democracy. Thank God we don't have a pure democracy. People are stupid. I always say people are stupid. Individuals are smart. And this no, it ain't. No, it ain't. And now I want to show you why I'm gonna say on this. I want to listen to this speech of somebody right here, because I want to tell you how it works out. Let me just. I want to play this for you. And I will tell you why I said the way I voted in the last election. Yeah, I voted for some Republicans. I voted for some Democrats. I voted for some, and I voted for some Libertarian. Oh, most people didn't do that. They just go party, straight ticket, right? Republican or Democrat. And because of what's going on, they were like, people just voted just for the president and then didn't vote for nothing else. And then they were like, oh my God, the police chief is this and all of that. Because y'all didn't vote for nothing. Y'all just click a box and it's stupid. That's why I do not, I repeat, that's why I do not want the people like, oh, everybody should vote. No, you have the right to vote, you have the right not to vote. If you don't feel it, don't vote. But I'd rather people know what the heck they're doing. I really would like, I know people said this was wrong, whatever, to have a tax, not a tax, I'm sorry. A way to figure out, hell, we can't even get voter ID because of stupid stuff. And we already talked about that before with the whole thing with Georgia and all this stuff. Talking about, well, we don't want ID and stuff like that. No, it's stupid. But I want you to listen to this man right here back in 2018 what he said in Greensboro, North Carolina.
I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group and domestic violence and blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens.
Amen.
Our rights are the ones that are being taken away. That's the reason why I came down here today. Gun show or no gun show, NRA or no NRA. I'm here to stand up for the law-abiding citizens of this community. Because I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen. You can take the guns away from us all you want to. You all write a law, I follow the law, I'll bring my guns down here, I'll turn them in. But here's what's going to happen. The Crips and the Bloods on the other side of town, they're not going to turn their guns in. They're going to hold on to them. And what's going to happen when you have to send the police down there to go take them? The police can barely enforce the law as it is. As what I see, we demonize the police, criminalize and vilify the police, and we make the criminals into victims. And we're talking about restricting guns? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that when the police department's already hamstrung? You're not going to be able to go down here and take these guns from these criminals. So the criminals are going to hold on to their guns. They're still going to have them. They're still going to break in my house, and they're still going to shoot me with them. And guess who's going to be the one that suffers? It's going to be me. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, it is not going to happen without a fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean shots fired. I don't mean fist thrown. I mean, I'm going to come down here to this city council and raise hell just like these loonies from the left do until you listen to the majority of the people in this city. And I am the majority. The majority of the people in this city are law-abiding, and they follow the law, and they want their constitutional right to be able to bear arms. They want to be able to go to the gun show and buy a hunting rifle or a sport rifle. There are no military-grade weapons sold at the gun show. An AR-15 is not a military-grade weapon. Anybody that would go into combat with an AR-15 is a fool. It's a semi-automatic 22 rifle. You'd be killed in 15 minutes in combat with that thing. So we need to dispel all these myths, and we need to drop all this division that we got going on here. Because the bottom line is, when that Second Amendment was written, whether the framers liked it or not, they wrote it for everybody. And I am everybody. And the law-abiding citizens of this city are everybody. And we want our rights, and we want to keep our rights. And by God, we're going to keep them, come hell or high water.
You heard that, man. You heard that, man. You heard the passion. You heard the logic. You heard the logic in this man's voice. The logic in this man's voice. That person right there that you see, that you know what he is? He's our lieutenant governor for North Carolina. I had no problem voting for this man because of what he represented. Now, he's a Republican. So remember the Democrats always say, we try to help the black people. All the Republicans are racist, whatever. Just like they did with Tim Scott and everything. Twitter, you go to Twitter now, Twitter, they call them all kind of N-words and stuff like that. But they're supposed to be Democrats to be all nice for black people. Again, please read up your history of what the Democrats have done in the past to black people. Majority of the problems he had was that KKK, Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow laws, filibustering, all that stuff, so they won't get the restitution back at that time. Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that stuff. But the reason, like I said, he is lieutenant governor, and I had no problem voting for the man. And here's why I said, again, just to see, remember, Tim Scott, they call him all kind of N-words and all that stuff. White people, white leftists are doing that now. Funny how that works, ain't it? That's why they always treat you like pets. So let's go to here now. Let's listen to it. What happened? In a couple months, look what they did. But I want you to hear it.
That cartoon doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is the hypocrisy behind it. That's what bothers me. That you would portray a black man just because he's in the GOP as a Klansman. That you would portray an American Indian woman, a Native American woman, Olivia Oxendine, who is a Lumbee Indian, and who has had to face the Klan face to face and their egregious actions and has had to fight against them. You would portray her as something that vile. The hypocrisy is mind-numbing, folks. And I'm here to tell you right now, this office is not going to stand by and let it go by. And when I'm not going to go along to get along, I'm going to call them out on every time. Because here it is. What I want to know from WRAL, is that who you are?
WRL is basically what the local news broadcast in North Carolina.
Is that who you want to represent yourself to be in this state? And again, it's not a private individual. It's not a private Facebook page. That is a newspaper. It sells itself to millions of people across this state that would put something that vile out. When I understand the person who drew this is an 8th grade social studies teacher. If that's true and he's teaching these falsehoods, because by the way, Wasn't anybody in the GOP that promoted the Ku Klux Klan
Nope.
and the ideals thereof. I can tell you who did that. If he's promoting this in WRL, what is he doing in his classroom?
Oh,
So these standards are divisive. And this should give us pause to pump the brakes, slow down, and revisit this issue. And not pass these standards on tomorrow or on Thursday. Well, we're busy investigating people for simply going to Washington, D.C. And yes, the vast majority of people who went to Washington, D.C. just went to have their voice heard. There was a small minority who did some very bad things and should be punished. But the vast majority of people who went to Washington, D.C. simply went to have their grievances addressed. And now we're trying to hunt down those people and demonize those people simply for wanting to have their voices heard. While a teacher in a North Carolina middle school would draw a drawing like that, depicting the first black lieutenant governor as a Ku Klux Klansman.
let that settle into you. Let that settle to you. I'll repeat that again. I'll let you hear it again. First black. And I'm not care for the first stuff, but you know me. I don't care for the first stuff, but just let us settle in.
The first black lieutenant governor as a Ku Klux Klansman.
Yeah. Again, y'all talk about white supremacy, blah, 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 blah. The leftists are that. Them white people over there, they treat you like, again, I've said it multiple times, they treat us like we are pets. I'm not your pet. That's why when the Oscars, you lost over 50%, I think it was a 58% viewership you lost. Because I don't want to hear that other crap you got. Shout outs to Tyler Perry for doing a very good speech. I respect him on what he did right there. That's a good speech what Tyler Perry did. All the other you nut jobs, including the black ones, y'all crazy. Y'all sell y'all soul. Y'all be quick to say, oh, God this, God that, but y'all sell y'all soul just to get a little fame and a fit in with all the weirdos in Hollywood. The same weirdos who are the most racist, vile, indecent, done horrible stuff to not only women, men, and children, just to get there to get your money. No, that's why I said I don't want to be part of the Grammys. When I was young, I wanted to be one of the Grammys, so I did a video about that. I had a problem trying to get a Grammy or whatever, but I don't care no more. I just don't care. You don't care to get a Grammy. Why? Because I'm not selling my soul to become one of these bloodsuckers. Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. That's why I'm trying to tell people. That's the crazy part about how these things work out. People need to understand that and not be scared by saying the truth. Don't care. It's true. Like I said, I've seen. Look, there's a Democrat down. He was Hispanic down in Texas, who called out Biden for all the stuff he did with the children in cages. Again, children in cages, and he built more. Trump shut them down. Y'all blame Trump for that, but Biden has built more little cages, have done way more stuff. Hell, they have a bridge at an overpass. They put a bridges where they put some of these people on a bridge. I wonder if we can. Let me see if we can find that. I want to let him finish his stuff though. Let's let him finish his stuff. I want to see if we find the one with the bridge stuff.
It's something we cannot stand for, folks. It's something that I'm not going to stand for. Free speech, yes, I'm all for it. But when your free speech proves you to be a hypocrite, and I will say this publicly, proves you to be a hypocrite and a liar, we won't stand silent for it, and we're going to stand up against it. It's happening now, and I continue to make sure it's going to happen in the future as Lieutenant Governor. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I had no problem voting for you, sir, so far. I've seen your integrity, and I kind of wish Dan Forrest had won. He didn't won. We got Cooper. Hey, I'll take it. You know what it is? The whole thing with the ID for voting Cooper, yeah, and also the illegals. You know, for me,
You piece of loser.
that's what you are to me because of the stuff you have done and said is crazy. But whatever. You want to play games with people, go ahead. I wish we had Dan for us, but hey, we got the lieutenant governor. Do the best you can to keep him in check, please. Because right now we're going to get more crazy stuff because now we have Apple coming to North Carolina to the RTP set area, Research Triangle Park, and Apple's going to do $1 billion thing. So they're going to bring jobs, and of course, taxes are going to go up. So that's all right. I don't have a problem with that. More people, more ever. Taxes are going to go up because of that. It sucks, but we're going to see what happens. I'll say this publicly right here on my show. Some of those people are going to come from California to go live in North Carolina. Keep your freaking politics out of this crap, please. The reason why you left California because you voted a stupid way and your state is a piece of S. Literally is. Yes, you have the sixth biggest you call it income. That making money in California in the world economy. Yeah, that's cool. But your debt is 10 times that. You guys owe trillions of dollars. Don't bring that S over here. Please do not. Stick that dumb thinking out there. Oh, just don't vote. Just come over, enjoy yourself, have a Coca smile, and go. Don't vote, please, because I don't want y'all to bring that stupid stuff over here to make nonsense. We see what he done into Minnesota and all the other states and stuff like that. Even to make like Texas, Austin is basically torn. Austin, the city's blue now, and it's just crazy. We don't need it. We do not need it. Stop it. Stop it. That thing. Let me see. But I want to let me see if I can bring. Yeah. No, you're not. Stop lying. Let me see if I can find it. See the stuff that's going. Oh, there we go. Look, like I said, it's so easy to find these things, and people are like, oh, we can't find. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just find it. Housing immigrants under the bridge did not have to happen, advocates say to CPU shifts. Yeah. Look at it and look at the date. So you know this is not no crap from the President Trump or nothing. This is underneath Joe Biden. It's all cool. You have all the talking in there. There you go. Hundreds of migrants have been being held beneath El Paso de Network International Bridge in El Paso as CBC has run out of space to support asylum seekers. So hey, news media, major news media. This is local news, of course. Major news media, your CBN, your CNN, your CBS, your ABC. You said Trump with his cages. Where's y'all video about this? Where's the news about this? ABC I give because they do cut. I give ABC a cut. But CBS, CNN, where you all at? Look at the cages. Look at the little girl and the barbed wire. Look how horrible that looks. Where's y'all stuff at? Where y'all at? Oh, nowhere to be found, huh? News media. News media is just crazy. Yep. You don't care. This is why again, y'all. This is the news media is just that despicable. That's why that's why I say you have to look for multiple sources. That's why I said what I said. You gotta look for multiple sources. You just can't think. Local news, I give it to agree because totally agree. I get them more easy than that. Sometimes they do lie themselves well too, because I ain't got a picture. I wonder if the picture will show up on my phone. I doubt it, but we'll see. Let's see if it will show up. It won't. No, it won't. It won't show up. I'll have to show a picture of this, whatever I'm putting up. New York Times, basically, it's basically two stories, and this is again how mainstream read it. The stories that I'm reading right here. Sky News, which is from Australia. India, at least 11 people dead and 1,000 taken ill after a gas leak in Andhra Pradesh. Might be spelling that wrong. Flip it. Oh, COVID footage show people dying in the streets. No, it was local news showed it to be a gas leak. But because they want to keep this narrative going, keep you scared and keep you worried, that's how they change the news story. That's what it is. That's how crazy that situation has become. But yeah, let's not talk about all these other stuff, shall we? How? These people, the news, these are young kids again. The older ones are just again 93% of news media, even Fox News. I'll say it again, They vote for they vote Democrat. Even Fox News media does it the same thing too. They've done it. And people need to understand what they've done. That's why I always say look for different sources. Always look for different sources. Cause you just can't to get certain things straight out. But Lieutenant Governor, thank you for what you're doing. Hope you keep on doing what you're supposed to do. Again, I don't care if it was a black person was a Democrat, but if he had the same views and he was Democrat, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's the view of the person is what I want. What they're doing, what they have. That's what I'm more stringent about. But and also I like that he's hitting these people. Because I want to play another one for you. I want to play another one for you because this nonsense is getting ridiculous. They're indoctrinating these kids to. That's what I said. And by now, right now, so he's gonna put back in. What's that stupid thing they're putting? Their own race, whatever it is. That is literally teaching people to be racist. I don't care about it. But I want to just play one more from our Lieutenant Governor. It just needs to be said about these schools. That's why I don't want to have. That's why I don't want to Common Core math because that's stupid. 2 + 2 = 4. That's tricking people. 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, not 1 + 1 = 5, and it feels right. I don't want none of that stuff in their schools. You're teaching the kids to be idiots. I don't want them to be idiots. It's bad enough you don't teach critical thinking. You don't teach them how to finance. I would think Econ 101 should be a part of it. You're taking out homework. You're taking out what do you call it? You're taking out physical ed in most of these schools, the arts and everything. You're saying all that stuff. You're taking it all out, but you put it in this critical race theory, which is garbage, and they also put it in this stupid thing with all the sex. You're pushing the sex stuff a little more for young kids than you should be. Sorry, not for that. Ain't never gonna be for that. Teach them about what the stuff is. Hey, what the sex organs are, whatever. But don't teach them this crap at that age. Let them grow up to be an 18-year-old adult. If they want to do what they want to do with their buddies after that, I have no problem with that, and never have no problem with that. But to do stuff to these kids, and then some of these schools are letting these kids make the decision without even letting their parents know. That's irresponsible. Irresponsible. But like I said, I'll let the Lieutenant Governor speak here for a sec.
Is not an indictment on education. I want to say that first and foremost. The vast majority of our teachers in this state and in this nation are good. They go to work every day, they work hard, and they are there for the benefit of the students and parents that they are serving. And
except for the part of I'll cut you on that. Except for the teachers union, who teacher unions.
You piece of loser.
Yep.
That's exactly what they do. This is not, again, an indictment on education. What this was born out of and inspired by was the fact that in every corner that we traveled in this state, we found ourselves being besieged by folks who were complaining about things that their students and their children were having to learn in public schools that were contrary to their own beliefs. We call it indoctrination, but it could be called many things. It could be called politicizing the classroom. It could be called introducing things into the classroom that don't belong there. But we see that in every corner, and we received numerous complaints about it, both while we were on the campaign and since we've been lieutenant governor. And so thinking about how we could tackle the problem, we realized one thing. We realized heretofore there has not been a place where this data could be brought to, disseminated, and compiled. And that's what we're seeking to do with this task force. We want this task force to be a resource for parents and students who feel that they are unable to tackle the issues that they are facing in their schools. And trust me, folks, that is happening in this state. It is happening in this nation. There are parents and teachers who are literally afraid to speak up against school boards, against principals, against administrators. And folks, that has got to stop. School is supposed to be a safe place where people can go for the purpose of instruction. And that's what we need to make sure is happening. We need to bring some equity, and we need to make sure there's equity in the classroom and that people are being treated fairly. And that's what this task force is intended to do.
I wish you the best of luck, sir. I wish you the best of luck on that regard. Now, I just want to bring up something right here about with my boy.
Do I live in an alternate universe?
John Stotzer, because sometimes I feel like what he's gonna say right now. So let's continue. Let's just continue with how it is.
The media tell me we all now live in Kochland, the Koch brothers' libertarian utopia. That's the far left media, but people on the right also say.
Our leadership class remains resolutely libertarian.
They do? Who? President Biden?
Bigger is better now, not spending less.
No, not Biden.
I do support a $15 minimum wage.
Definitely not Biden.
Hell
Maybe
no.
when they write that a libertarian fantasy is now our reality, they meant the election of Donald Trump.
They said liberal, then they mean liberal, not libertarian, because that ain't what it is.
Let's cut the red tape.
But Trump increased military spending.
$738 billion.
And he increased our debt by trillions. He also vilified trade and immigrants.
They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
Now, come on, John. You know what he said that, but I'll let it go. Like I said, you don't agree with everything everybody else said. They are, because I just spelled it out just earlier. They did do that.
Libertarians believe trade and immigration are good for America. With us libertarians failing in politics.
Because they say crazy S. She said I played the video of her, your interview with her. She said some stupid ass. That's why I didn't vote for her. You crazy lady. I voted for you, but you just couldn't put things together. Sorry.
How can both left and right say libertarian ideas are winning?
In a way, we are winning.
David Bose of the Cato Institute.
Over the past couple hundred years, we've moved from a world where very few people had rights and markets were not free to a world that's mostly marked by religious freedom, personal freedom, freedom of speech.
And it's still, and again, and now with the Dems back in charge, we see how that works out.
Property rights, markets, the rule of law.
For most of history, no country had that.
For maybe 10,000 years of recorded history, in all of that time, there was practically no economic growth, no increase in human rights and justice.
Kings and tyrants ruled. They confiscated property, took and kept slaves. They waged war for decades at a time.
Until around 1700, suddenly limited government and property rights and markets came into the world.
The result was a sudden increase in prosperity.
What was GDP per capita in the world? Well, it was this for almost all of history, and then it did this.
Americans are now 30 times richer than we were 200 years ago. It's hard to believe because we're constantly told.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
The majority
says Bernie again. Bernie Sanders, you should not say nothing again because again, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. You got rich and you dropped your millionaires and billionaires. You became a millionaire and then billionaires and billionaires.
of Americans keep getting poorer.
But that's
because you keep
just not true. When America began, rich people were poorer than poor people are today.
Back in colonial America, you were traveling and you wanted a place to sleep.
You'd go to an inn where everyone shared a bed with others.
Even the founding fathers. John Jay didn't like the fact that he had to be sleeping with strangers and picking up bed bugs and lice, 4 people at a time in these beds. It's not like that anymore. And that's the increase in wealth that's unimaginable to us.
It's hard to get your brain around how much richer we are.
Benjamin Franklin and John Adams stopped for the night at an inn, and there was only one bed available. So Benjamin Franklin and John Adams had to share this bed. And then they fought over whether the window should be open.
These were the elite of America.
They were the most respected, we would say the most important Americans. And yet, Benjamin Franklin and John Adams can't get separate beds when they stop at an inn.
When markets are free and private property protected, entrepreneurs innovate in ways that now allow ordinary people to live better than kings once did.
That's true.
Consider Louis XIV, the Sun King. Louis chose from 40 dishes every night, taking 498 people to prepare each meal. He was rich, but today's average person can go into a supermarket and buy a fresh, frozen, tinned, smoked or pre-prepared meal made with beef, chicken, pork, lamb, fish, eggs, potatoes, beans, carrots. Add all this up and you realize that you have far more than 498 servants at your beck and call. In a sense, we're all kings now.
Because of the steady progress made possible by free markets.
You can watch television or listen to the radio and never hear about the steady day-to-day, year-to-year progress. So they tell us about cancer clusters.
Cancer clusters in southern Florida.
We can forget the big picture, and it's important to remember the big picture so that we don't lose it.
The big picture includes living longer.
President Calvin Coolidge's teenage son was playing tennis on the White House tennis court, and he got a blister on his foot. And the blister got infected, and the health care available to the son of the President of the United States was not sufficient to keep him from dying.
We also barely notice that there's been progress in fairness and decency.
We've moved from some people have privileges that others don't to human rights belong to women and Black people and gay people. The direction of history has been in the direction of markets personal freedom, human rights, democratic governance, and that's what libertarians have been advocating.
And you put it in that perspective, yes, I could see that. I could see that. But right now we got a point. Right now we have a point as well too that we're also making words not what they're supposed to be, doing things we're supposed to be. I had a conversation with a person, and if she's listening, and it was all cool because it was a very cordial conversation. But the conversation was we're talking about, and she hit me with the whole, but you gotta listen to my truth. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, I am not even going down that path. No, it's truth. We're gonna use the word objective, or we're gonna do anecdotal evidence, but I'm not gonna say my truth. There's only one truth, and I'm not doing that. And it's funny, a lot of Christians now are basically part of that situation now, using that same thing. That's why I look at a lot of modern Christians now. They're so far removed from the church, which is they go to church, but they do not listen to the teachings. They just use the words that adapt to them. Human nature to do that. I get it. That's not my thing, but I call it out. Whatever. If I cause a fault, I cause a fault. But some people just want to put themselves in a good light all the time, and they will only choose the Bible here and there. You will see that in my more of the No Straight No Chasers when we talk about relationship between men and women and children and father, because it's getting ridiculous. After this week, I was you guys heard me say this before. Children are born mostly through lust, not through love. Most countries did that. Well, I have to add a third one to that now after listening to some women talking. No, a lot of children are born through lust and love. That is true. Then you got to add in also they're born through selfishness. Wow. I did not see that. I saw it, but I only when I heard a couple women talk about how they don't care how their children will be, just want to have a child and they don't care. I'm like, and I see how some people treat their kids. It's like, boom, it hit me. I was like, yep, you know what? Yeah, yep. People are that selfish. You would rather have a child and not have the father in his life and all that stuff just because you just want to have a child. And I'm prepared. I got money. Money's not the only thing that we put a change. I've said 100 times, a million times before. I've never heard a kid say, "Oh, you didn't give enough." No. Let me be honest. I'll be 100%. I heard one child say that, and that child was messed up in the mind already. Horrible person already, which became an adult. Because her mother stole her her mother stole the child from a hospital so she could keep her boyfriend. So that's his child. Come to find out it was not his child, of course. So she put him on child support so you get the money to buy stuff. And that child saying, "Oh, you didn't give me no money. You only give $100 a week. That's not enough to buy my bundles of hair." I'm like, oh my goodness. How effed up is that? How effed up is that? That's the only child. Every other child I've ever heard is like, "You weren't there for me, Dad. You weren't there for the other stuff." Other ones, yeah. Nah. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't believe that out there. But most children don't say, "Hey, you wasn't there for me." So let's just look at the selfish part. I never thought of that until I heard that from these women I was talking about. And I will do most of those videos in Straight No Chasers. You'll see that. But it's crazy to see how it is. It's amazing. It's just amazing sometimes. It's just puzzling to see how many people do some crazy things just to get whatever. But it's human nature. It is human nature. So, right now, like I said before, you see, who's the party of money? Dems. Always had been as well, too. I always came with, like, you said with the illegals, like, yes, the Republicans want cheap labor. The constituents for the Republicans want cheap labor, so the Republicans stand up for that. But the Democrats want the cheap labor, and they also want the cheap labor, and they also wanted voters, so they could stay in power. That's how corrupt this thing. The whole system is corrupt. It really does need a recheck. Thomas Jefferson, even though people are like, oh, you were a slave, what? Thomas Jefferson, right, talking about the blood of tyrants, because these people are tyrants. That's Pelosi, Maxine Waters, all of them, they're tyrants. AOC and them just got in there, and they already done start being tyrantic as well too. Because now Joe Biden's in there, and he already done lie this and change this and do all this crazy stuff. Now, but now that he's back in there, here we go again with let's go with it. Here we go one more time with pushing this stupid thing here. I just gotta play because it's just stupid. It's just stupid. But let's let it go. Andrew, take it away. Here's again, as I said, tyrants. Here's a tyrant.
Is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democratic Socialist Congresswoman from New York's 14th District. Back in February 2019, AOC and Senator Ed Markey announced the Green New Deal, and it was a disaster. Along with the draft of the Green New Deal resolution, Congresswoman AOC's office released an FAQ.
And you know what's funny about this? I gotta see if we get a recording of it. Former Obama, over climate change and stuff, came out and said, yeah, the science doesn't back a lot of this stuff, and it's a new religion. This stuff, just like how what's that fat dude who did Fahrenheit 11? When you talk about this religious cult that these people have with the climate, that's what they are. It makes no sense, no logic, nothing.
That talked about fully getting rid of farting cows and airplanes, and that we're going to build out so much high-speed rail that air travel stops becoming necessary.
How do you take a train to Europe? You know, this...
The FAQ also stated, a Green New Deal is a massive investment in renewable energy production and would not include creating new nuclear plants. It's unclear if we will be able to decommission every nuclear plant within 10 years, but the plan is to transition off of nuclear and all fossil fuels as soon as possible. Which is strange considering that nuclear power is a zero-emission energy source, and getting to zero emissions and reducing global warming are the main goals of the Green New Deal.
Can you explain where the Green New Deal stands on nuclear power? There's just some confusion after the initial fact sheet went out that said there was no room for nuclear. Is that where you stand on this?
The resolution is silent on any individual technology which can move us towards a solution of this problem. This is a resolution that does not have individual prescriptions in it. So it is silent, the resolution itself.
This was a fact sheet that said no nuclear.
That is not part of the resolution.
The FAQ also said, no one has put the full 10-year plan together yet, and if it is possible to get to fully 100% renewable in 10 years, we will do that. So while the Green New Deal explicitly demands that we go 100% renewable in 10 years, the authors of the bill admit that they don't have a detailed plan on how to get there, and don't even know if it's possible. These people are children. Anyway, AOC's FAQ and completely not understanding what was in the resolution undermined the entire Green New Deal rollout. And on March 26, 2019, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell held a procedural vote to begin floor debate on the Green New Deal. But McConnell knew that it wouldn't have the votes. This was an effort to get Democrats to go on the record in support of this ridiculous bill. In the end, 57 senators, including 3 Democrats and 1 independent, voted against bringing the Green New Deal up for debate. But instead of the rest of the Democrats voting for the bill, they voted present. And that includes the sponsor of the bill, Senator Ed Markey, and co-sponsors Bernie Sanders, Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Amy Klobuchar, all of whom were running for president. So much for standing up for your principles.
Principles? NANI? They got no damn principles. Are you kidding me? They will gladly sell their father, their grandmas for nothing. And of course, another one. She didn't even vote her own bill, and she didn't even vote for it either. AOC. Funny how that works, ain't it?
But that didn't mark the end of the Green New Deal. In fact, it was only the beginning.
That remind me. That remind me.
So, 2 years later, Congresswoman AOC and Senator Ed Markey announced the reintroduction of the Green New Deal.
For the past 2 years, it has been proven that the Green New Deal isn't just a resolution.
It's a
you piece of loser.
It's a piece of crap. It is none of that stuff makes sense.
Is a revolution.
No, it's not. It's a
So in these last 2 years, what has happened? What has occurred since the introduction of the Green New Deal?
Nothing. And you're full of it.
How has it been impactful?
Spoiler alert, nothing has happened and it hasn't been impactful. Well, at least not in a real sense.
No.
Many pieces of legislation have been introduced adopting the Green New Deal framework of jobs and justice to decarbonize our economy.
What?
And not only...
What you just said? Jobs and what I gotta do with...
only have they been introduced, but elements have already passed the House.
Introducing legislation is not an accomplishment, and legislation passing the House and legislation being passed into law are two completely different things. I would assume that she knows this, but then again, we are talking about AOC. I don't want to give her too much credit.
Exactly.
With Fundrise.
Exactly. I won't want to give her that much credit either, because, thinking. Just saying.
Calls for recognizing the duty of the federal government to create a Green New Deal by meeting 100% of the power demand in the United States through clean, renewable, and zero-emission energy sources.
Ain't gonna happen.
And in the process, this will create millions of good high-wage jobs
No, it
to
won't.
provide unprecedented levels of prosperity and economic security
No, it
for all
won't.
people of the United States and to counteract systemic injustices.
What does this civil justice do with the climate? What the?
Now, the resolution has a ton of goals related to climate mitigation and economic justice, but offers few, if any, specifics on how it gets done. But you get a lot of statements like this. The Green New Deal would provide resources, training, and high-quality education, including higher education, to all people of the United States with a focus on frontline and vulnerable communities so that all people of the United States may be full and equal participants in the Green New Deal mobilization. So let's send everyone to school for free because climate change. Got it. Now, if the 14-page resolution was passed, it would mean that every single bill introduced in Congress would have to adhere to the goals listed. And requiring that the United States meets 100% of the power demand using clean, renewable energy, it's impossible. It's a utopian hippie fantasy.
We also have dozens of new and additional pieces of legislation that adopt a Green New Deal framework that ensures that we can make sure that we create millions of jobs in the United States and advance the cause of racial and social justice.
One of those additional pieces of legislation is titled the Green New Deal for Public Housing Act that was first introduced 2 years ago by AOC and Senator Bernie Sanders. According to the one-pager, the bill would provide deep energy retrofits to increase energy savings in all 950,000 public housing units. The retrofitting in question includes energy-efficient windows, super insulation of roofs, exterior walls, and new cladding to buildings, and the rerouting of plumbing and electricity. Electrification of water heating and building heating systems using electric heat pumps, and upgrading to all-electric state-of-the-art efficient appliances.
Wait. Section. So like I said before, like I said back just early in this podcast, what LA's doing. Oh, we're gonna take $1 billion and we're gonna buy these apartments so people who are junkies, people who are homeless, who are houseless, just to say, as I give the George Carlin, houseless, who are junkies, who are violent people. I'll do stuff about that too. They're gonna get $1 million apartment. What sense does that make? And then regular people who work hard, whatever, even though they don't get none of that stuff. That's crazy.
And according to Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez, Performing these retrofits would save public housing authorities up to $97 million a year in water bills and up to $613 million in energy bills.
That's a big ass lie.
And it's only going to cost the American taxpayer $172 billion, which is roughly $181,000 per unit.
We're going to save public housing authorities money, and this will pay for itself.
So we got to spend billions to save millions? Brilliant. Anyway, the federal government provides public housing authorities billions of dollars a year in funding.
Yep.
Take, for example, the New York City Housing Authority. Federal funds make up 60% of their operating budget.
Jeez.
In 2019, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development gave NYCHA $2.1 billion. So did that money go to good use? Not really. Public housing in New York City is literally falling apart thanks to years of neglect and mismanagement by NYCHA. In 2018, the federal government filed a lawsuit against NYCHA saying that it failed to meet basic federal health and safety regulations, including protecting residents from toxic lead paint. In fact, NYCHA had trained its staff on how to mislead federal inspectors by shutting off buildings' water supplies during inspections to hide leaks.
What the fuck?
Am I surprised? Am I surprised? No. No, I'm not. That's why you don't want to give government that much power. That's the reason you don't want to give government that much power.
And to present false reports to the government and to the public about its compliance with lead paint regulations. And that takes a lot of work to hide, considering that lead paint for households has been banned in New York since 1960, so great job, NYCHA. Backed in a corner, New York City immediately settled the lawsuit, agreed to spend an additional $1 billion over the next 4 years, and an additional $200 million per year after that. But that's not nearly enough, because NYCHA estimates that it's going to cost $31.8 billion to bring each unit up to code, which is $180,000 per unit.
Question. And if we give them $2.1 billion every year, and they don't do nothing about it, you think they're gonna do something with the 3.1 billion? No. No, they won't. You gotta be gullible for that.
Wait a second. That's almost the exact amount that the Green New Deal for Public Housing Act would provide for each unit. What a coincidence. But sure, let's throw hundreds of billions of dollars at corrupt housing authorities so that they can fix the problems that they've refused to address for decades.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me. Next up is the Civilian Climate Corps for Jobs and Justice Act of 2021.
Today, I am introducing new legislation that will create a Civilian Climate Corps for Jobs and Justice in our country.
The bill establishes a diverse and equitable group of 1.5 million Americans over 5 years that will complete federally funded projects that help communities respond to climate change and transition to a clean economy. Core positions provide hands-on work experience, income, and job training for unemployed individuals in the United States, as well as leadership skills, an opportunity for community service, and an understanding of environmental stewardship.
They will make at least $15 an hour, receive full medical coverage, and have access to other services like child care.
And doing what?
That's right. These Corps members will be paid at least $15 an hour and as much as $30 an hour, be entitled to health care benefits for workers and their dependents, child care services, housing, education, and training. And for each 1-year term served, Corps members will be given no more than $25,000 to put towards paying for higher education or repayment of a qualified student loan. And that's all a pretty sweet deal, right? Well, you forgot about the unions. All members of the Civilian Climate Corps are provided the opportunity to join a labor union as applicable during the term of their service, and that members of the Civilian Climate Corps shall have the right to strike. Hang on a second. The government is going to give you a job that pays you as much as $62,000 a year, plus full medical benefits, childcare, housing, and despite all of that, You're still allowed to go on strike? You're getting everything already. What's left to demand?
Man, exactly.
Okay, so these union members, core members, whatever, will be performing quote-unquote service projects. The service projects carried out by the National Climate Service Program and recipients of grants from the National Climate Service Grant Program shall help communities respond to climate change and transition to a clean economy through one or more of the following activities, like conducting energy audits. Conducting audits? Oh, like the Scientologists. Another project could be recommending ways for households to improve energy efficiency.
Oh my goodness.
Like door-to-door salesmen? Providing education on climate change, disaster, and resilience at community-based organizations and schools, and working with schools and youth programs to educate students and youth about ways to reduce home energy use and improve the environment.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Then there's projects like expanding broadband access and adoption. You know, because climate change or whatever. Installing and upgrading public transit and electric vehicle infrastructure, and installing clean energy infrastructure in homes and small businesses, on farms, and in communities.
They're not gonna do
When
this.
it comes to technical work like having to rewire a home or a commercial building, it's highly unlikely that more experienced unionized core members are going to settle for $30 an hour or less, especially not in a mid to large size city. But I guess that's where the collective bargaining from the union comes in, I don't know. Then there are projects like conducting prescribed burns or engaging in reforestation activity. And I'm not sure that you want core members with only a few weeks of training participating in controlled burns in a forest. But whatever. It's only going to cost taxpayers $107 billion over a 5-year period. And that doesn't include the cost of healthcare, housing, or childcare.
And that also is not gonna do nothing. That graphic you have in the back is correct. That's just burning money.
Not to mention all the money that will have to go towards all the inevitable collective bargaining with the unions. So does the Green New Deal have a chance this time around? Don't kid yourself, it does. But thankfully, there are some big hurdles.
Capacity to be able to deal with the problems that we're facing in the same way Franklin Roosevelt did in 1933. This is our FDR moment. It's 2021, and we cannot miss this historic opportunity.
But even without the filibuster, it's unlikely that the Green New Deal will have the 50 votes it needs to pass the Senate. Because the usual suspects, Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, and Angus King, who voted against it 2 years ago, are likely to vote against it again. And all three aren't up for re-election until 2024, so they can vote against a Green New Deal without having to worry about getting primaried in the short term. So until then, let's cross our fingers and hope they stick to their principles. Anyway.
Politicians, you say. That's funny. That is funny. All I want to and of course, with all that stuff, with $172 billion to do this thing, which ain't gonna do not a damn thing.
Use it.
Oops, sorry.
Use
wrong one.
Taxes!
They only taxes.
Beautiful, lovely taxes!
Thanks for taking my money, asshole.
That's what it's gonna be, and that's what they're gonna do. So I'll leave it to that regard in that situation right there. That is nope. Don't trust these. I don't trust it as far as I could lift these bastards. But hey, it is how how we got some of these games now. So I don't know what to tell you. But like I said before, these people are going to do whatever they can to get money. The elites are going to keep on trying to get money. That's why I stated before, the rich will get rich, the poor will keep fighting for the crumbs, and the middle class is going to get bent over and effed up. And we won't even get a reach around nor the loo, not even a little spit, just to make sure we all right. No, they're going to do us as bad, as dirty as they can. So hell, it is what it is. So, with that said, thank y'all for joining me once again for another episode of Project Open Mic. Again, if you want to check out any past episodes, going to one last week, check it out. The link's right. Basically, you go to Project Open Mic, YouTube.com. You go there, check it out. Also, check out the last set of all side chat as well. So, for those who normally don't do the carryover, tomorrow around 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:30, depending on how the thing is. I apologize again. It's just been crazy having my family here. and my schedule has been thrown out of whack. So it is what it is in that regard. But thank you for y'all for hanging in there with me and sharing with me. So I'm just happy to provide these videos for y'all so you can share, comment, do we have to do on that. Including people on Tip FM who has been doing that. So thank y'all for that. And then, you know, Twitch and everything, we're expanding. We're going to keep on getting more and more stuff. All right. So with that said, remember, evil, including these kind of evil I just showed you. Evil comes in all shapes, sizes, color, creed, height, sexuality, gender, nationality, politician. Evil's evil. And with that said, also remember, people are stupid, individuals are smart. Please be that smart individual. This is your boy Tig for Project Open Mic. Wish you all have a good Friday, a good weekend. Again, shout outs for the people out there who are going through the St. Vincent with the volcano and ashes and stuff like that. And I could talk about the government and that too, because the government didn't want to leave people on the boats because of COVID. I got a question for you, government. Again, they say government's stupid. I don't give a rat's butt about the COVID. I'm worried about the thing that's shooting lava and stuff at me so I can get off the island so I don't get killed. COVID, lava. I don't know which one's more dangerous. I don't know. How about the lava? I'll go with the lava. Stupid thinking. Oh my God, government is so dumb. They're not dumb. They're just, it's human nature. They want to protect their power, so they do stupid stuff to protect their power, and that's what it is. And it just, again, simple sense. Simple sense is gone. That's what it is. I don't call it common sense because it's not common sense. Simple sense, we need simple sense back into it. Jeez Louise. But sorry about that. Again, check us out tomorrow between 9 and 9:30 because of the schedule. Like I said, again, with side chat, we talk about what we could talk about. Maybe we'll talk about some of the Oscars again with all the stupid stuff that's going with the Oscars. Maybe that we could talk about. Or something new or whatever, or maybe Joe Biden's speech. We'll see. But join us tomorrow again on a side chat. Thank you for giving me your time, your ears, your eyes. And again, remember, people are stupid, individuals are smart. Be that smart person. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.